Hello, welcome to my room where I'm held captive. Not physically, but rather mentally. It's hard to explain. This room is like a safe haven, but also a trap. I would like to go out and do something fun or productive for that matter, but I'm afraid. And I'm not talking about having some jitters, but rather being completely paralyzed, unable to take action, like being held by a puppet strings. It applies to phone calling, writing to people online. Hell, it even happens when I try to call for pizza. It's infuriating. And you may say, if you have a mental issue, you should visit a psychologist. I did. Several, in fact. To the last one, I went for over a year, with little to no effect. But I'm not here to boo-hoo or ask to feel pity for me. I victimized myself long enough. I could bitch and complain how awful my childhood was, among other things. But you know what that would solve? Nothing. Instead, I'm going to start over. Return to nothingness. Leave the past behind me, face my own fears and demons. And hopefully, become a person I always wanted to be. You see, I always liked helping others, but I could never really help myself. It became worse and worse with each year. And at some point, I was almost hopeless. I wanted all of this to just be over, to literally stop happening. Luckily, I managed to overcome this, so my state became stable, even if miserable nonetheless. However, after years of psychology sessions, a spark happened. Bloody miracle, something I thought only happens in the movies or low-tier shitty novels. No, I didn't go to the church. I was told about magicians who cure people at the drop of a hat. My initial reaction was, But I figured every story has a grain of truth, so I said, whatever, it won't get any worse, right? So I went there, and even though all that magic turned out to be integrated energy therapy, holy shit, it works! In just few visits, I made bigger progress than with all of the psychologists over the years. Combined. They didn't ask me boatload of pointless questions or told me to draw some fucking trees. No. Just a few basic questions, handful of advices, and the directions to follow. Through this, I realized how much of a retarded gimp I was, and what actually needs to be done. Although I didn't exactly follow their directions, I discovered something else, something I wasn't aware of before. My subconsciousness, and started to learn how to influence it. And I know, it's going to sound like a crazy talk, but it worked. Even if it involved talking to myself quite a lot. Kinda like now. I'm talking to the camera and to you, of course, but there is no one in the vicinity. I wonder if that's why I decided to make a video. Anyway, my first demon to slay will be that driving license exam which I'm stalling for over a year now. And that's not because I have a problem with exam itself, but rather signing up for it. How do I even explain that? It's like, among friends, I feel light as a feather, but when it comes to talking with strangers, I'm scared as shit. A barrier that is not easy to break and even harder to identify. And I know it's not easy to go out of your way and do something you're not comfortable with, But honestly, I linger in this state for so long that I don't care if someone tells me it's impossible to break through it. I'm going to do it anyway, regardless what awaits me on the way. Whatever it is, I'm tired of hiding my head in the sand. It's time to do something about it. Time for a change. Make a stand and finally do it. I'm going to do it! I can feel your presence, sealing my words, binding my hands, clouding my thoughts, keeping me incapacitated. Ugh. I had enough of this shit! You hear me? I'm done. Show yourself and we're going to settle this once and for all. I need a break. What the hell? Wait. Was that... Shit! It's you. Where did this... Well, finally, this will be the end of the line. For you or me. Be certain that you're gone. I need to make sure you're real. So come on, rectangle freak. Show me your worst. Fear was always my worst enemy. I kinda wish my mother never had me to develop it. But on the other hand, without it, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't know how is it to be trapped within your own mind. I was mad at the whole world. It made me bitter and frustrated. But I realized the world will not change for me. It won't wait for me. I'll have to catch up to it, one way or another. Be like water. Adapt to it. Accept the present for what it is. And stop letting past dictate the future, because the world needs me. And I need the world.